Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Tai Lopez has racked up millions of views on YouTube, creating content showing off his fancy cars and his massive house. There are hundreds of these finance gurus, wealthy people who make content with the goal of showing people how they too can become successful.
Why do these videos work? The answer is simple. Gen Z has an unhealthy definition of success. These videos sell people the idea that success comes from wealth, but the reality is, it doesn't. So why do we want to believe that? First, we're going to look at the data on how prevalent the issue is. We're going to look into the reasons behind why this is happening. And then we're going to look at what a really successful life looks like.
When creators like Tai constantly show off their wealth, people become desensitized and begin to believe that levels of success like that are normal.
When Empower did a survey asking how much money people need to make a year to be financially successful, they found that Gen Z wanted $587,000 a year, over double the average of any other generation. This is astronomically high and almost impossible to achieve. According to the Consumer Expenditure Survey from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average income for Gen Z is around $52,000. That can lead to massive financial dysmorphia, a mental state in which you feel insecure and bad about your own financial situation when it really isn't that bad. If you think you should be making $500,000 a year while making $50,000 a year, you're gonna feel like a failure, and this can have some serious consequences. For example, the Consumer Expenditure Survey also found that Gen Z spends almost all of their income, with an average savings per year of $1,600. That's less than 4%. According to the Bank of America, only 15% automatically put money into savings. Gen Z seems to spend money as soon as they get it, and the Consumer Expenditure Survey found that the primary areas of overspending was food away from home, cars, and housing. Something I found on the subject was a report from CDK Global, a company whose literal job is to provide market insights and advise companies on how to increase revenue. In their report, they found that 39% of Gen Z reported buying luxury cars, compared to the population average of 26%. They also explicitly state, don't assume they can't afford luxury cars. There should be no assumption that a younger shopper entering the luxury shop isn't willing or able to complete a deal. Even though on average, Gen Z can't afford luxury cars. Overspending and overconsumption are a big problem, as Gen Z is likely to be the biggest and most wealthy generation ever once we come of age. Having bad money habits now is going to set us up for failure. How many kids are going to go out and buy their dream car once they make enough money or come into a big inheritance? This poses a really big risk. One of the main reasons this is happening is obviously social media. It feels bad to see people always succeeding or having big weddings or on vacation, but that's just a snapshot of somebody else's life. Seeing somebody buy their first home at 21 while you're still living with your parents feels bad. Social media always has an angle, whether it's selling you new things to buy or influencing your decisions or just to keep you engaged for ad revenue. Influencers like Tai Lopez or Grant Cardone try and sell you their idea of success. They sell you books and courses filled with business advice and secrets and are very effective at making you feel a part of the club. They talk about how they want to make you money, that anybody can do it, and how important money is. They use all sorts of different techniques to accomplish this, particularly presenting themselves as lifestyle coaches. They appeal to disillusioned people who hate their jobs and think that they are failing in life and offer them a solution.
Take Grant Cardone, for instance. Grant's main message is to quit your job and manage real estate. In this podcast with sex offender and former Congressman Matt Gaetz, he talks about how you should never do what makes you happy and how you should only do what makes the most money.
The guy went and became a plumber, or he became a teacher, or they did whatever they wanted to do. That was a mistake, by the way. You shouldn't do what you wanted.
I know. Wasn't that screwed up when people were like, well, what are your passions?
Yes.
What are your interests? That was a very millennial thing.
Self-centered.
Yeah. What should be the operative question?
What's the number?
A key part of their scheme is to make you feel bad about yourself so they can sell you their version of success. And a lot of their life advice is to just work harder or gain more knowledge or level up.
But most of it is some variation of just be better. And also, some of it makes literally no sense.
If you do not have ChatGPT on your phone right now, what the f*** are you doing? You're lazy. You're f***ing entitled.
And this isn't even just a lifestyle coach thing. Any video you watch has messaging. Watching a vlog of somebody vacationing in Japan, or watching a cooking video and their kitchen looks like this, or a vlog in somebody's house this big. All sorts of media have all sorts of messages, and their influence is really important. Ultimately, we are what we consume, and when we watch wealthy people go about their lives, we see that as an ideal and that we're failing to reach that. Another reason people are having financial dysmorphia is that things are actually getting worse for everybody. It's much harder today to get a well-paying job and to afford to live on your own. Bank of America states that over half of Gen Z are receiving financial support from their parents, and only half are even paying their own rent. It's almost impossible for working class people to get ahead without a substantial amount of support from their parents. And seeing other people succeed can make us feel like we're the problem. But what does it really mean to be successful? The idea that being successful means being wealthy is a relatively new idea, and throughout all of history, material success was never considered important. All of the world's religions and philosophers warn against money. The endless pursuit of wealth has always been seen as a trap for the average person, but in modern history it's becoming encouraged. People are putting the cart before the horse. The end goal for a lot of people is to just getting a job and making a bunch of money, and that's what it means to be successful. However, our modern understanding of success isn't necessarily money, although it is important. According to a study from Harvard, in which they reviewed the lives of 200 participants from the early adolescence to their deaths, they found that the most important factor to human happiness was relationships. Whether it's social relationships or romantic or belonging to a community, that is the most important thing in life. They found that having a good support group indicated more happiness, more life satisfaction, and even longer lifespans. Money is important, but only to an extent. Obviously, people literally starving are going to be unhappy, but as long as your needs are met, anything above that typically doesn't help. In the Harvard study, they used the example of two different lives. They followed a Harvard grad who went to law school and became a partner at a large firm who was absolutely miserable. They also followed a poor kid in Boston who became a high school teacher and was one of the happiest people in the survey due to the fact that he had good relationships with the students and his family. The best way to achieve lasting happiness and success is cultivating meaningful relationships, not relentlessly chasing money. Ultimately, what makes people happy is relationships. Doing work that we love to do and not focusing on what other people have. It is a trap that so many people my age have fallen for. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether or not you drive a European car or anything like that. What really matters is the people you love and spending time with them. Thank you for watching.